Welcome everyone. I am Dawn Duvall, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and it is our weekly Tuesday Facebook Live. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let me bring in the comments. And as I usually say in my weekly speech, please make sure that you put your name in your comment so that I know that it's you. And that just allows me to know who I'm talking to. Once I pull the names for the drawing for the cards, the names do show up, but they just don't show up when we're live. So I've got the comments on, so when y'all come on, make sure you let me know you're here and where you're from. And also, if you're a new person here visiting my channel, let me know that as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously you're watching the replay, make sure that you subscribe to my button, my YouTube channel, and by doing that you hit the little bell, and there's also a little notification thing that you can get notified when I upload new videos. And if you're watching this for the first time on Facebook or watching it live, please make sure you like my Facebook page and share and comment the video so that your name will go into a drawing for the cards that we'll be making. I usually draw the names the afternoon of the following week, so next Tuesday, usually do it around 3 o'clock or so. I'll draw the names for tonight, which would be this week's class, names who will get the cards. So make sure that you share and comment, and the more that you do so, the more that your name will go in the drawing. And if you share, it helps me reach out to other crafters that may enjoy my crafting style. So hi Debbie Cox, hi Karen Joe. Oh Karen, my nose is itching. I lied to you. I told you I was going to get your cards out to you last week and I didn't. So that's my mistake. I promise they will go out tomorrow because I owe you cards. I think, yeah, your name's on there. The goat cards, your name and Tony, and I somehow didn't get them in the mail. So my apologies. Hello, Faye in Virginia. How are you? I hope everyone's doing well. It is raining here in Florida. I'm going to give you a weather update as I always do. And why is it when I go live, my nose decides to start itching? It hasn't itched all day, and then when I go live, it starts itching. So who knows what that is. But anyways, it just started raining about, I guess 30 minutes ago. We had a little bit of thunder. So, but we need the rain. Believe me, the right side of my yard is dry. The sprinklers apparently are not hitting it right. So we've got some dry patches, and so I'm glad that it's raining for that. Plus, it will hopefully knock down some of the pollen that's out there. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you, whoever just shared. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello. Make sure you put your name in the comments so I know, just from my own reference, it will show up when I go back and review the video. But this way I know who it is. And let's see, I'm just making sure I don't screw up and turn anything off. So anyway, so nothing exciting is happening. I did get quite a bit done today. I've got a new class that's gonna I'm gonna release it on Saturday. It's a new online class where you can purchase the class and get the contents to go. It's another class that is using a Memories and More kits, and as well as the cards and envelopes. So it's designed for those people who are new at stamping and don't have a lot of supplies, or for those of you that just don't have a lot of time and want to make some quick cards. So there's, we're going to make 12 cards. You'll get a PDF tutorial, all the supplies. You're going to get about, this class is a little bit more expensive because of the cards and envelopes. I want to say it's $42 plus shipping, but you're getting about $35 in product that you'll be using to make the cards, plus whatever's left over, and you'll also have material left over to make more cards. So anyways, that will be out. I'll probably release it on Saturday, and it will show up on my Facebook feed. So hello, Miss Judy. How are you? And I have your paper. I will be mailing that to you this week, just to let you know. If you're not on my newsletter list, if you haven't signed up for that, and if you'd like to, you can do that on Facebook. I send out weekly emails. The first email of the month is a little bit more involved. I try to go over what's taking place within Stampin' Up, promotions, changes, and then what's going on with me and what I'm offering. And then also I always provide at least 2 tutorials and then some helpful tips and whatever else I can think of. So, and then each week you normally will get a little bit of information, and I try to do at least 1 free tutorial and a tip. If sometimes you'll get 2 tutorials. It just depends on the content that I have and what I can put out there. So, so if you're not on there, sign up for it. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to work with you. And if you'd like to have a catalog, shoot me a message, and I'll be more with your name and address. So mailing address, so that I can get those to you. I should have those. I'm thinking I should be able to order them in April. The catalog doesn't go live for you all until May 4th. Demonstrators, we get to do a pre-order for the 1st of April. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be able to order. They won't tell us until that day. And I'm hoping I can at least get my catalogs in. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to work with you, and I'll be more than happy to send you a catalog at no cost. So just shoot me a message. Okay. All right. We're going to wait. Let's see. It's 7:05. Let's give it another 30 seconds or so and see for those that popping in, and then we'll get started. We're going to be doing some fun folds. I'm going to do 2 fun folds. I'm going to do a regular card, and then we're going to try to get to 3 cards. So I'm going to do the 2 fun folds first, and then if we have time, the third one's pretty easy. And we're using the Butterfly Brilliant stamp set. And I was going to use some of the paper, but unfortunately that paper only was available for like 2 weeks for the customer. So that's a little disappointing. But, you know, we're having issues, and I think like a lot of people, with the ports and product coming from China and other sources outside, and then the Suez Canal backup didn't help any. So we're experiencing delays in getting products. So if you go to order something and you see it's on back order, there's quite a few things that are on back order that should be in the next week or 2. And then there's some that are not orderable yet because we don't know when we're going to get those in. So we just have to be patient, and we're not the only, we're not the only people, we're not the only business doing this. So we just have to be open enough and find something else in the catalog that we can get. Now the stamps are made in Utah. So it's the punches and the dies, and those are the other items that we're having issues with. So anyways, all right, so with that being said, it is 7:07, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me turn my camera down. All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Please make sure that you announce that you're here and who you are and where you're from. All right, so this card we're going to be making is called a slide card. And the way, and I'm sure some of you may have seen this, it's really easy to make. Let me get over in the camera. So when you open the card, the butterfly pops up, his little wings close up, and then it's in the inside of the card. Isn't that cute? And then you can write your message right here. So this is really easy to make. So when you want to close it, just pull his wings together and fold it down. And then when you go to mail it, all you have to do is just press his wings down, and they'll fold flat, and then they'll pop right back up. All right, so isn't that a cute card? It's very simple. Now, I could have embossed the cardstock, but I didn't. This is Bermuda Bay, and this is our 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and get started with making this card. And if you want to place an order with me through my online store, you can do so at shallwestamp.com. And this is my April code. I went ahead and got a new code set up for the month of June. So that will go for the full month. Hello from Ocean View. I know who you are. Okay, so we're doing the 8.5 by 5.5, scoring at 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this and get our crease. I would pull my paper trimmer in, but we'll wait and do that on the next card because we're going to be doing a lot of cutting and scoring. Okay, so this is Bermuda Bay cardstock, and then we're going to take 2 pieces. Now this is from the butterfly paper that is no longer around, but I'm using the back side, so any kind of designer paper that you want will work. So you want to cut these, you want 2 of them, and these are going to be 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. And then we're going to do 1 piece of basic black. And this is, I'm sorry, scratch the 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. That's for the cardstock, I'm sorry. Can't read my own handwriting. All right, so the cardstock that you're going to use, and you can use whatever. This is basic black, 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. The designer series paper, you need 2 of these, and I have one that's a little bit bigger, so I think I'm gonna have to trim that one down. These are 1 1/2 by 4. I don't think it's gonna make a difference. All right, so 1 1/2 by 4, and we need 2 of those. And then some of the stuff we're using tonight is retiring, and I just want you to know I'm very disappointed because some of these things are going to affect my, I mean, you know, we have to roll with it, but my goodness, we're going to use the classic label punch, and this is going away, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work when I do classes like this. So anyways, all right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to place it in this position here. All right, so I'm going to attach my designer series paper, and I'm going to put it on the piece of basic black. So let me get my Tombow opened, get my glue going, and we're going to go ahead and attach this to our basic black piece. Now I'm going to attach this, and I'm going to pop it out with the punch. It's if you have a hard time, then you may want to attach the black and then attach your, I think you should be able to do it. It's just, I think it's easier to punch them all at one time. That way everything is lined up. Okay, so we have this on here. All right, now I'm going to place this. Now what we're going to do, once I have this placed, we're going to push the punch in as far as it will go on this side. Okay, so that's as far as it's going to go. And I'm not going to do it all the way at the top, but I'm going to kind of leave it a little bit centered. So I know I have to go all the way into here. So I'm going to make sure that I get this on here, and I'm going to eyeball it, and I think I should be good to put it right about here. So let's just, I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm going to push this through just to make sure that I'm centered. Okay, so I've got it all the way in. So I need to bring this, because I want it centered in between my, my strip here. And I think that's going to look good. So I'm going to take this out, and I'll go ahead and adhere it right here. All right, that's what I do. You can always make a mark on your paper if it's easier to do that. All right, so we'll just set it right here. And we'll go ahead and pop that on. So I know it needs to go right about here so that we stay somewhat centered. And if it's not centered, it's not a big deal, because once the butterfly goes on there, no one's going to know the difference, you know. So we're going to put that right there. We're going to give it just a minute since I'm using the Tombow. We're going to let that just sit for a second. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and attach a piece of Whisper White to the inside of the card. All right. So let's go ahead and attach that. And then I'll attach the other piece in just a minute. We're going to attach a piece on the inside with our butterfly. So let's go ahead and get this. And then by then our glue should be dry enough that I can go ahead and punch it. So let's go ahead and lay this down. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and we get that in there. All right, so let's go ahead and push in our punch. And again, we're going to push it all the way in so it's pretty much centered. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher than from the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this out. I'm going to have to use both hands, because you know the older you get, the harder it is, right? Okay, so now there's our punched out piece that we need. And let me burnish this really good, because I want this to stay flat. Okay, now what I did is I'm using the dies from the Butterfly Brilliance, the Brilliant Wings. And what I'm using is, let me show you which one. I am using, I think it's this one right here. This one. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm using this size right here, this die. I went ahead and cut it out because I knew it was going to take a little bit of time. And I'm using one of the papers that's, I can't remember the name of this, Artistic, I think. I know I should write this stuff down. But this is the butterfly. So I've ran him through the die cutting machine. And I'm going to lay him right in here. So what I'm going to do is, you can take a pencil if you'd like, and we can just make a little mark of where we know the butterfly needs to go, right? Or where my piece of, we're going to put this piece of, designer paper. So I'm just going to put a little line on each side so that I know I can get, at least get it in that part right there. So we know it has to go right there. So we're going to go ahead and put this down, and then we can go ahead and finish our card. And this is, and decorate it. And this is a really easy card, but it really does give you that, that wow. So you make this card and send it out. Your friends, family, or whomever are just going to be in awe. And you can always kind of gauge it too, right? So we're going to put that right about there. And we're going to close that up, okay? Are you with me so far? Okay, hello Pam. I'm assuming that's you from North Carolina. All right, so we're going to take our butterfly, and I am going to just bend him just a little bit, and I'm going to place him on here. Let me see, did I use dimension? Hang on a minute, let me see if I, no, I'm going to use glue dots. That's what I thought I did. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to put 3 glue dots on him. So we're just going to attach them. I'm going to do, well, I'm probably going to do 2 because his little body's not big enough for 3. So let me find the first one. I can't see my glue. I hear the pouring down rain now. It's pouring. Whoops. I got my glue dot on the wrong spot. Hang on a minute. That's not very smart, is it? Let's pull him off. All right, we're going to put him right there. All right, let me get my scissors out. It'll probably be easier. This roll is off of its little things. I don't have anything hard to hold on to it. And I'm going to put one right about here, and I'm just kind of rolling them up a little bit so they'll stay on his body. And I'm going to put one right down towards the tail. So I'm just going to pull it off and just kind of just do like an oblong roll and place it right at the bottom of his little tail. Okay, so we're going to bend his wings up. Now his antennas kind of get in the way, but you can always cut them down if you don't want them this long. I just pull them up when I open the card. It's not a big deal. I mean, when I close the card. All right, so we're going to place him right in the center and put him just like that. All right, so there we go. We've got our butterfly there. Okay, and then when we open it, la la, isn't that cute? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we got to finish dressing up a card. All right, and our butterfly, because we're going to make sure. Now I've got him this piece right here. Hang on. See his little what do you call those things right here? Not an antler. Whatever that thing is, or they've gone in between his wings. So I need to pull them closer together. His little, I don't know, what are they called? I don't know what they're called on butterflies. Okay, so there we go. Okay, this one keeps wanting, I think I'm going to trim him down. He's wanting to get stuck in there. Hang on a minute. He's not going to act right. We're going to have to cut him off. Hang on, he's stuck in the piece. His little antennas, that's what they are. Oh, is that up? Linda Carter's watching. She must have finished dinner for her husband. Linda, you're such a good woman. My husband cooks for me. I'm spoiled. I would cook, but he tries to tell me what to do, and that makes me mad, so I just don't cook. So, all right, so we've got that on there. Now, I'm going to, let's see, let's do our sentiment. Now, I use and I'm telling you, if y'all don't have this, the mini messages, this is a 1 stamp. You need to purchase this. And what I do is I put it on my Big Shot. Oh my goodness. I put it on my Stamparatus, and I ink it all in Memento Black, and then I stamp them, and then you take the die, and there's 1 die that cuts this thing all out. And then I just put the extra ones in a little baggie and hold on to them until I need them. So it's just easy that way. So this is one of the ones that I pulled from that batch. And then this is Basic Black, and this is the Label Me Lovely punch. And honestly, I don't know if this is still active or not, but I'm using it because I liked it. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this right here, right in the center. So it says, "Hooray, it's your birthday." So we want to make this a birthday present, birthday card for someone. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lift that up so I don't get glue on my fingers. And we're going to put that right centered there. I'm going to bring it up just a tad. And then we're going to add dimensionals to this. And we're going to pop this up. And then we're going to add some ribbon. And I'm going to put 4 dimensionals on this guy. We'll put them right there, right here, and right. Oh, you know what? It would help if I do it. There we go. How's that? Okay, so we got our 4-dimensional. So let's go ahead and attach this. And then we're going to use some ribbon and put some bling on the butterfly. All right, so I'm going to place this right about here. All right, and then we're going to take some of the the flowers for every season, the gingham. This is just jade, but I think it looks fine. So I'm going to tie a bow, and we're going to attach this with a glue dot. So let's just tie this. Now this is not carrying over, so y'all, if you want it, you better get it now. It might be on the clearance rack. I'm not sure if it is or not. I haven't had a chance to look at that. Well, I've looked a little bit, but not that much. I'm kind of hoping my catalog will come soon. All right, so give me a minute while I can get my bow tied. And all right, so let's get our ribbon scissors and let's trim that. And we'll trim that down a little bit. I think this color looks nice. Let me get my tails right and get my little bow. I think he might be a little bit too big, so I'm going to pull it down. You always hold the knot in the center to adjust the size so you can keep everything taut, and then when you tighten it, it's going to make it a little bit bigger anyways, so that's just another tip. And then I try to poof out my little bow, my little loops. And everybody has their own way they do things, and we're going to trim these down. They're a little bit too long. So let's trim those. Okay, and then we'll get this pulled down, and I'm gonna bring in a pack of dimensionals glue dots that are actually on the cardboard so that I can attach. I'm gonna put 2 on here so that we know it's gonna hold. All right, and then that's gonna cover up that extra space right there. All right, so that's that. And then the last thing we need to do is we're gonna put some bling. Let me move this out of the way. We are going to put some of the holiday rhinestones, and I'm going to use these aqua colored ones, so that's what I'm going to put on my butterfly. So I'm just going to pick up the smaller ones, and I'm just going to decorate the front of his body. This little piece right here, we're just going to lay him on there and just attach him down like he's got a strip, kind of give him a little color, extra color that kind of coordinates. And that kind of helps bring the color in from the Just Jade. All right, so there is our card, and we open it up, and there's our butterfly. And then you can write your message, and then we'll close it back up. And we get his little wings pulled through there. And there he is, and his little antennas are in the way again, so we may have to do some trimming on him. So if you use this punch, you may want to think about his antennas. Okay, all right, so there's that card. Isn't that cute? I think whoever gets this card is going to absolutely love it. So, all right, make sure that you share so your name goes in the drawing to get this card. All right, so that's our first card, so let's move him off to the side. Okay, let me move some stuff because I've got this next card. I've seen it, but I've never made it. Bear with me 1 second. I apologize. I'm going to move these out of the way, my punches, and the stuff that I don't need. I don't have a lot of room up here, so bear with me 1 second. Let me get the card out to show you what we're going to make. I got my directions. All right, this is a pull card, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make this. Now, you all may know how to do this, but I found a tutorial, and I was quite pleased with it. So, and I don't remember the demonstrator's name, and I apologize for that. So I meant to write it down, and I forgot. Okay, let me get my instructions so I can tell you how this works. All right. Okay, so I am using the True Love designer paper, and this is the flip side. Oops, let me get the camera. And then this is So Saffron. I forget that we have that yellow, so I don't use it as often, and I need to because it's such a pretty color. And then all of this, the butterfly and the flowers, this is from the Forever Fern. And then, of course, the butterfly is from this stamp set. And I stamped everything in basic gray. And then I put a little pull tab on this, and we're going to pull that up, and that's how you will write your message. And the base cardstock is Smoky Slate. I did Smoky Slate on that, and then then I did basic gray for the colors. All right, so that's the one that we're going to make. Isn't this cute? Okay, so here we go. This is the one that gave me a little bit of trouble. All right, give me a second because I got to figure out, oh, these go with this one. All right, hold on. I got a lot of pieces here. Okay, now I'll pull in my Stampin' Trimmer because this is where we're going to do some trimming and cutting and everything else. Okay, so we're going to take a sheet of Smoky Slate, 8.5 by 11, and we're going to make 2 card bases, right? So we're going to score this at 4 1/4. This is what I do. I score it first and then cut, and that way I only have to make 2 cuts instead of 3. All right, so we're going to line it up at 4 1/4. Let me move my cutting blade out of the way. And we're going to line it up at 4 1/4. And I'm going to score this, okay? This is how you get 2 cards out of 1 base. All right, and then I'm going to turn this to 5 1/2. And then we're going to cut this, and we'll have our 2 card bases, all right? So then we're going to take our blade, and we're going to go up. All right, so we have 2 card bases. Now, this has to stay here because we're going to use that in just a minute. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take one of the cards pieces, and we are going to mark at on the 5 1/2 side. I'm going to line this up, and we're going to use our scoring tool. We're going to line this up at a 1/2 inch. So because the right side goes over a 1/2 inch to 1, I'm going to line it up to the 1/2 inch right here. All right, so can y'all see that? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make just a notch right here. Oops, I'm shaking my table. I'm trying to press down so I know so I can see it. It's a little bit hard on the light colored cardstock. So I think what I'm going to do, because we're going to cut this, I'm going to just take my pencil and I'm just going to make a little dot right there so I know where that is, okay? And we're going to do that on both of these. Okay, so this one we're going to line up at a 1/2 inch. Let me get it. Hang on a second. A 1/2 inch. And we're going to do the same on this one. So I'm just going to make enough of a mark. Okay, and I'm going to take my pencil and just highlight it so that I can see it. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to take that mark right there. See the pencil mark? I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can get in any closer. Let me bring this up. That mark, we're going to line it up in the trimmer, and we're going to diagonal cut from there up to the score line. Okay, got it? All right, so we're going to line that up right there, and I'm going to hold my cardstock down here, and let me get up here. I'm going to slide it until I get my score line right here in the trimmer, and then I've got to move this one over now because you got to be careful because they move, both sides will move. All right, so I've got my score line right there, and I've got my little tab right there that I marked. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my blade in to the cardstock just about maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to pull back, and then I'm going to cut up to that mark. Okay, all right, and this is we're going to use that for something else. You can keep that and use that for later. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this piece. All right, and I've already made my mark, so I'm going to lie it there, hold it there. We're going to come over to the score line, and let's see. Let me pull my line down here. Hopefully I can get this right. All right, bear with me a second. This is the tedious part because you just want to make sure you've got it lined up, right? And we're just going to move that in just a little bit, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and cut that as well. All right, so now we have our card base. Let me move those out of the way. All right, put this over here. We've got one more thing we have to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold these and burnish. Hang on a minute, let me move this right here. All right, so we're going to fold these and burnish these. All right, and don't worry about this. We're going to deal with that later, okay? So we're going to fold these together. Now this piece, we're going to take our bone folder. You know, when you cut it, it has little ridges at the top. So I just take the bone folder and just go across it, and it flattens everything down, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to glue these two together, and then there's going to be our fold. Now we're going to cut those because they're going to get in the way, all right? So we're going to do that once we get all this done, okay? Got it? You with me? So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and use I'll go ahead and use our liquid glue. So let's go ahead and add this on here, and then we're going to do our designer series paper, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. Now mine, I cut it different, so I got one side. If you look at my card, what did I do with my card? Hang on a minute. Oh, here it is. If you look at my designer series paper, when I cut it, when I flipped it over, I had used the reverse side, which I like. But if you don't want to use the reverse side, then the way I'm going to show you how to cut it should take care of that problem. All right, so all we're going to do is line this up into here, and we're just going to butt it up to that score line. And I like to just kind of tap it on the table to make sure it's flat. And we're just going to adhere it, okay? So let's just give it a good rub with our bone folder. All right, so that's the base of our card, okay? All right, now we'll put him off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to bring it in the paper trimmer one more time. Now we have our designer series paper. And you can use whichever side that you want, right? And this is 8.5 by 5.5. It's just like our cardstock, right? So we want to score this, and I'm going to turn it over on the dark side. This is going to be hard to see. We're going to score this just like our card base. We're going to score it at 4 1/4, okay? Let me move my cutter out of the way. All right, so we're going to score it 4 1/4, right? And then we're going to do the same thing. This is really going to be hard to see. I'm going to go ahead and fold it so that we can see it. All right, this should be 8.5. Let me make sure hang on a minute. Make sure I got this measured right. Should be 8.5 by 5.5, right? 8. Ah, that's not right. That's 8. No wonder it's too short. Hang on a minute. Let me grab another piece. I have no idea what. Let me see. Give me a second. See what we can do. What do we want? Let's see what we want. I want a piece that's going to show. Oh, that one's been used. Hang on a minute. I don't think I want the dots. What's on this side? Hang on. Sorry, you guys. Nope, we only have a small piece of that. Hang on. Let me pull up the other package. Hold on. Sorry about that. I thought I had measured that. Apparently, I don't know how to read a measuring tape. Oh, look. I happen to have a whole pack here. We should be able to find the color we want. I'm going to go with the stripes again because I like the stripes. Or I could probably do something different, but that's okay. Hang on. I'm so sorry. I just thought y'all might want to just sit here and watch me look for that piece of paper. Hang on, I know it's in here. There he is. Let's go ahead and go with the stripes again. There's some other patterns in here that would work really well too. We could do the flowers. We could do the flower side if we wanted. Let me throw that over there. Okay, so we're going to cut this down. We're going to do 8.5 by 11. So let's go ahead and do our 8.5. Let's go ahead and cut that. I'm sorry, we don't want 8.5 by 11. We want 5.5 by 8.5. Good Lord, we want to make a card base. So 5.5. All right, there's 5.5, so let's cut that. 5.5 by 8.5, right? 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, now we're good. Now we're right. So let's move this down and let's score it at 4 1/4, right? So this is 8.5, correct? Yep. All right, so we're going to score at 4 1/4. And we've got our scoring tool. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to fold this just like we would our card base, right? So let's get this folded. It's off just a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be fine. All right, let me put my arm in because we don't need that out anymore. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing we did with the card base. We're going to line this up to the 1/2 inch. Now this one, we're going to do we're not going to cut it in half because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to line this up to the 1/2 inch, if I can get to it. And that's why my arm is sitting up. Hang on, I don't have it locked in its little cubby hole thing, so it's sticking up. All right, so we got the 1/2 inch lined up, and we're going to make that little notch. And I'm going to mark this with a pen so we can see it, okay? And then we're going to turn this around. And we're going to do the other side at a 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. Now, see, this is going to be hard to see it. Let me see, where's my, all right, there's my little notch right there. So I'm going to bend it so we can see that one. And then this one, I don't even feel that one. So let's line this up one more time. All right, this one's right here. So let's keep them both on the same end. So let's do a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that. So let's do 1/2 inch. We'll come down here and we're just going to make a little notch. We're going to make them at both of the same end, opposite ends of each other. Okay. All right, and there's our little score. So I'm going to fold that so that we can see it. We're gonna cut the diagonal again. So I'm just going to fold that so we know where we're going, right? All right, so I'm going to line up and I know this is hard for y'all to see. I'm lining up my score line here at 4 1/4, just like I did the other one. And then I want that little piece right there. I can see it. It's going to go in my track. There's my fold, right? So I want to get that right inside my track. And it should be, this black paper probably want to go, that should work right about, that should be fine. Let me move it just a tad. Okay, so now I've got to move. All right, hang on. Get that there. All right, I'm moving this one over so I can get my score line in the hole, in the track. All right, so we're going to push this down. Whoops, my little blade popped out. My little trimming blade, my cutting blade. Hang on. Get in there, little Bubba. All right, so we're ready to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the diagonal there. All right, so there's one of our pieces. Now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing because I want to keep this triangle, and I'll show you why. All right, so there's our folded piece, right? The 1/2 inch. So I've got that in the corner. So I'm going to bring this up here, right there. Get that over just a tad. You gotta watch your little things. Okay, so we're going to bring this down here, and we're going to cut that. All right, so these are our 2 pieces that we need. Now, you've got this piece, and it's folded in half, so guess what? We can cut this right at the 4, right? This should be, line this up. Let me see. I'm going to turn it this way and we can see it. We're going to cut this in half, and then you've got two more triangles for another card that you want to make. So we're going to put him in there, butt him up to the head, and he's right in the trimmer. So we're going to pull that down and cut, and now you have 2 more pieces that you can use for another card. That's what we were doing, trying to make sure we got that right. Okie doke. Now, so we have our 2 pieces, so we're going to, we've got that cut. Now we've got, oops, we got one more piece. We got our So Saffron. I know, a lot of cutting going on, huh? All right, we need to score this at 4 1/4. Let's make sure I cut this one right at 8 1/2. So we've got 3 cardstocks that we have to do at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. All right, so that's right. So we want to get over here to the 4 1/4, and we are going to score that. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn here. And the cardstock doesn't matter which side you cut because, you know, there's not a design, there's not a pattern. So you're good with that. But it's the designer series paper you have to be careful with. If there's, you know, a pattern that if you want the same pattern. Again, we're going to line it up at a 1/2 inch. We're going to make a little mark. And I'm going to come around and I'll just do the same thing. I'll just do it on this side. It really doesn't matter. And we'll line this one up at a 1/2 inch. Actually, why don't we just do that? We'll do the same. Let's line this up at a 1/2 inch. Okay, and we'll do that. Now I'm going to mark this with the pencil again so that we can see it. Okay, and then this one's right here. All right, so we're going to turn, pencil mark in the trimmer, bring our score line over, line that up, make sure it's not moved, which they do, so that's what you have to watch for. Can y'all see? I know it's hard to see. You may have to go back and watch this again. Okay, so that one's lined up. So we're going to bring the trimmer, hold that down, and then I'm going to cut this. So that's going to be our base, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to line that one up there. I've got my point here. We've got that lined up. All right, we've got this one lined up. I've got that one lined up. I think we're good to go. And we're going to cut that one. All right, so we have our 2 pieces here. And again, you can use that for the same, you know, for something else. Okay, Now we're done. Sorry about that. Now we can put our stuff together. All right. So we have our smoky slate, and I like this So Saffron. So I'm going to add that to here. Okay, so we're just going to use our adhesive. Now we're going to cut this, so don't worry about that hanging over. And then this piece will go on this side. So we're going to attach those just like that, right? So let's go ahead and add some adhesive. Actually, let's do this. Let's put them on together, and let's see how we're going to do this. All right, so let's see if we can do, which one? We want this one? Do we want this? Now let's do the stripes. All right, see how that was going to line up? Now this we may have to trim down just a little bit because we're going to, yeah, we're going to trim this down just a little bit because it's covering up our So Saffron. So really we probably should have cut it down a little bit more instead of 8.5. We probably should have cut it down like a, maybe 1/4 of an inch, which is okay. So I'm just going to trim 1/8 off. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to line it up here and just do a little trim. Just a tad. It's not going to be much. Make sure I got it in there straight. Just enough that we can see our, and if we've got a little extra So Saffron showing, that's okay. And I just kind of lay it on here and make sure that it's going to work. Let's trim a little bit off this piece right here. And this one's just going to be a little tiny bit. I don't want much. So these you're just going to have to just, you know, play with them. And you can always knock it down by 1/4 of an inch. So I think that's good. All right, so that's that one. And then we're going to do the same thing on this one. Because that's a little bit, I want a little bit more yellow showing. So let's trim, let's see, hang on a second. Yeah, I think I'm just going to trim, I think that's fine. I think I'm just going to trim this little piece right here off just a tad. All right, hang on a minute. Like not even a, it's going to be a little bit too much. There we go. Just get it right in the trimmer. I think that hopefully is straight. All right, I think that's enough. Are y'all still hanging in there? Don't you love these different types? Now this is a little bit more, once you do it once or twice, it's not as hard, but since I'm taking the time to show you, it seems like it's going to take forever. There we go. All right, so that's good. Okay, now we can start putting everything together. All right. Okie dokie. Now we can start adhering. So again, this will go here. And then that one's going to go on the other side. All right, so let's get our adhesive. And again, you can use whatever paper you have, right, that you want to use. And I just think this is just such a cute card. And the possibilities are endless as far as your colors. And you don't have to do 2 cardstocks. You could just do your paper and the card base. You don't have to have the 3rd color. I just kind of like that because it gave it a little bit more, you know, it just gave it a little bit more pizzazz. All right, so that's going to fit there. So we're going to go ahead and attach. Now again, this is going to get trimmed off, so don't be too concerned because it's going to hang over just a little bit, so we're just going to trim that off. And it's going to go inside the card, so no one's going to see it anyways. Okay? All right, so this is going to go here. All right, so we're going to lay that right there. We're going to come down and gives us a nice edge with our smoky slate. All right, and then this one, good Lord, fingers aren't working tonight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to put some adhesive on here. Like how I'm getting used to this glue. I'm getting the hang of it now. All right, so let's place that on here. And this one's going to show a little bit more yellow, but you know what? That's okay. We're going to slide this one up just a tad. Hang on, let me pull this up. I can get it in so I can move it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, so we have stripes. All right, I kind of like the flowers, you know, but it's all right. We probably should have put the flowers on the outside just for something different. That's okay. We'll make another one. I might make one of these for my girlfriend's birthday. It's coming up. She's going to get it late because her birthday's the 2nd of April, and there's no way she's going to get it in the mail by then. Not the way the mail runs. All right, so there is our card base. Okay, now, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to take our, now see, we're going to trim that, and we're going to trim this. We're going to take our tear and tape, and we're going to add tear and tape, and I'm just going to trim a little bit right there off. I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to do the same thing to this one, just a little bit. All right, and then we're going to add tear and tape, and depending on which way you want your folds to go, it's up to you. You know, there's no right or wrong way. So I think I'm going to have this left side fold over this way. So I'm going to put adhesive here and right here, because this one will fold over and then this one will fold on top. So we'll put we're going to put our tear and tape on this piece here in the center, and then the left side. So whichever flap you want is the one that you want to put your adhesive on. Put your tear and tape, because you want to have this hold down, since it's going to be a card that's pulling up from the inside, right? The pull-up part. So we want to make sure that we have room for that. And your inside piece, I would probably cut it at 4 by 5 inches, just to be on the safe side. Whoopsie, I'm going too far over. Oh no, I'm cutting my card. No, we're going to leave that there. No one's going to see it, but I'm not going to tear that off. That's got to stay. I'm talking too much, not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm just going to add glue to the whole thing. All right, so we're going to take this off here. Hang on. Yeah, the tear and tape. Our tear and tape is changing too. It's going to be in the new catalog, but I think it's going to be, I think it's being manufactured differently. So if you see it in the book saying it's being retired, it's not. So just be aware of that. All right, so this one's going to fold down like that. So that's okay that I have that little piece of glue there. So we're going to fold that there. And then we're going to take this one and peel this piece off. Well, yesterday it worked fine for me, and as far as peeling it, and this one decides it doesn't want to cooperate, does it? Let's see if we can get this one to pull up. There we go. Oops. See, get so excited. There we go. All right, and then we're going to pull that one down and shut this one, and then that's going to hold our card together. All right, so there's our card. That part's done. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're going to decorate. So we're going to come in. I've already got everything pre-cut and everything for the most part. And let me get my pieces out here, and I'll show you what I'm doing. The butterfly, again, you know, with this butterfly set, right, you got to stamp. Let me show you, for those that are not, or may not have seen, I was going to show you this before I got started, the Stamparatus. This is what you do when you have these one piece of cards, the card bases. All right, so you get your card base down, and I put a magnet there, and then you lay it on here where you want your image to go, right? And then you're going to push down, and this is going to adhere it to your plate. Now, when you start to ink something, my recommendation is to put your empty case right there. Then that way, when you're inking with your stamp, let's say this is my stamp, you want your ink, you want to tap it, and then it gives it some substance underneath to hold it so it doesn't bend your hinges, all right? And then you just push it down and kind of walk your hand all over, and then the image will transfer. And the nice thing about the Stamparatus, if you haven't seen this or used one, it comes with 2 of these acrylic plates. So when we have that 2-step stamping sets that we use, you can place another acrylic plate up here, and then you can stamp and then bring this one down and stamp on top. And then if you've got 4 different things you want to stamp, you can put your stamps on the back side. You could just lift it up and pull this out, and then you flip it around, and then you would stamp whatever you have on the back side. Now, the other thing that's nice about the Stamparatus is if you want to do stamp things in a row, you lift it up and just bring it down 1 notch, and then stamp again, and it's an even spacing all the way down. This is in our catalog, and I think it's $49. Don't hold me to that, but I think it is. But that's a nice thing to use when you're using the large stamps. Also, if you're just starting out and you don't want to spend a lot of money on buying all the blocks, this would be perfect, the Stamparatus, because it gives you one thing that you just put your stamps on, and then you can use that for your acrylic block. So there's my tool tip information for the day. Okay, so what I've done is I punched a 2 1/4 circle, and this is from the paper from the art gallery paper pack, these flowers here, and I wanted that yellow. So I punched the 2 1/4 circle punch, and then I did a black at 2 inches, the 2-inch circles. And unfortunately, these are the ones that are retiring, and I'm really, really upset because I use these circle punches all the time. So anyway, so we're going to use this. And I think what I should have done, and I didn't, I should have used like the circle stitch, the larger circle stitched circle to make it bigger so you could kind of see that popping out. But with it being smaller, which is fine because nobody knows the difference, you can't see it. So I've just attached everything onto here. Okay, so it's no big deal. Actually, the black is going to be used for sentiment. We're going to pop that out. And then oh, here's the gray one. Nope, that's for the other thing. What did I do with the, what did I do with my yellow? I didn't pop out a gray. Let me do the gray. Ha! Let me get my circle punch. Actually, I'm going to do my 2 1/2. You're not going to see it since I've got it sitting here. Let me go get my 2. Nah, let's just do this. This is fine. Let me just grab one of my pieces of gray. I knew there was a reason I had those sitting over there. I'm just going to cut a 2 1/2 inch circle. It's not going to matter because most of it's going to be hidden anyways. Initially I used the 2 1/4, but this one's sitting here because this one retired a couple years ago and I have yet to get rid of it. Okay, so we're going to use that, and I'm going to put this up towards the top, so if it does show, it will be fine. The rest of this is going to be hidden, so it's not a big deal. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this. See, I always try to, you make do with what you got, right? Rather than me getting up, I'll just do it this way. And we'll put that right about there, okay? Because all of this is going to be hidden. All right, so we're going to build our front of our card. And what I'm going to do is I've punched out all of the leaves and everything, and I've got a butterfly. We're going to use this one, which I didn't do on the other card, but we're going to use this too. So I'm going to take, which one do I want to use? Let's take this one. No, that's a little bit bigger. Let's do the smaller one. So we'll save these for another day. All right, and then I'm going to attach this on here. Now, the one thing you got to be aware of is you don't want to have it any adhesive, right? You want your adhesive to only go like halfway. So I'm going to lay this here, and the way I judge it, I just put my finger where I know where my card's going to go in. So I don't want the adhesive to go any further up than this, okay? So I'm just going to make a circle right there because I don't want it to get where it's going to hold it closed, right, and get on the inside. So I want to make sure. And then you can just eyeball and lay it down. So I'm just going to do it like that, and we'll have that attached right there. And I know I'm good, so we'll let that sit while it's, that way it can be drying. All right, and then I'm going to take my butterfly, and we're just going to start building. So I'm going to take, and I'm just using adhesive on this too, and the butterfly will be popped up on dimensional. So let's go ahead and just add, yeah, these are laid down flat. I didn't want to give it too much bulk. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start building our flower and or our front. So I'm going to put this one right about here. Let's do that. We'll have it come up a little bit higher. And then I want a yellow piece on this side. So we're going to put this one down here. All right. And again, with these, you have to be careful too, because if you're having to put ink all the way up here, it's going to attach to that, so you don't want that to happen either. And then I'm just going to leave a little bit of space, but I'm going to put that there because I want the yellow to show. And my butterfly I'm going to use to cover up the end pieces in here. All right, and then I am going to attach, let's see, let's do the yellow. Let's do the yellow here. We've got yellow there and some. Now let's do, let me see. I'm talking to myself. This is how I do my stuff. What do y'all do? Do y'all talk to yourself when you start arranging things? I think I'm going to do it like that. No, I don't think I like that. Let's put this one down. Let's see. No, let's do like that because I don't want too much yellow. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put it on half of the flower of the leaf, my adhesive, because I don't want it to get in the way of the opening. So I'm going to lay that there, and then I'm going to come back with this yellow, and we'll just put some down here at the bottom as well. I think this one, yeah, this one should be fine. We'll add a little bit more adhesive. Okay. All right. And we're going to add that right about here. Pull him, just turn him a little bit this way. All right. And then I've got one more little leaf. Let's put him, even though he's still gray, we'll put him kind of in the center, just to give a little bit more oomph to it. Let's put him right here. We'll stick him under there. How's that? Put him underneath this yellow too. Let's lift him up a little bit. We'll just lift him and stick him in there. There, how's that? All right, so there's our and you can decorate it however you want. We can move this over some, and then I'm going to put this butterfly right there, and we're going to put him on dimensionals. So I'm going to use my little mini dimensionals, which I have right here. I did come prepared. And I'm going to fold him just a little bit, but I'm going to lay it right on that crease. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to put it on the crease. I probably could use the big ones, but we'll just do the baby ones. Or minis, I should say. They're not babies. And we'll put 3 on there. Now let's just do the 2. That should work. All right, so we're going to do 2 mini dimensionals. And we're going to lay that right about there. This way I can cover most of that circle, right? And do I have anything else cut? No, I don't. Okay. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we've got to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to punch that out. Did I bring my punch? Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to get up after all. I didn't bring my little punch to punch this. All right, I got to get up. I'll be back in 1 second. Hang on. Trying to remember what circle I did. I'll be back in 1 minute. Oh, it's that one. Let's do this one and this one. All right, it should be the 1.5 inch. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to use our basic gray, and I'm going to use the same sentiment that I did before, so we're just going to stamp that on here. And we're going to punch that out using the 1.5 inch circle, and it fits just perfect in there. So we'll pop that out, and all right, let me close my ink up. Okay, and we're going to attach this to the black, and we're going to use our adhesive for that. And then this I will pop up on dimensionals. See, this is the part that really is going to upset me when we have to, you know, if we're going to be making cards and you want to do some quick circles, my gosh, you're going to have to cut all this stuff in advance using the machine. And that's a little frustrating, but can't complain, which I am, but I don't mean to. It's just frustrating. It's very disappointing because this is this is probably most of us use circles quite a bit, don't you think? I mean, I do. Especially when I'm doing like one-sheet wonders and stuff like that, because I make birthday cards I send out to our neighbors and my friends and everybody. So if you want to be on my birthday card list, send me an email or a message with the month and day of your birthday and your mailing address, and I'll put you on my list. Okay, so we're going to add this here, and whoops, well, I'm not going to put him right there. I dropped it. I'm going to tuck it under, and that's going to hide some of that gray, which is fine. And I'm going to put that right about there to my friend. And then I'm going to pull in some of our gold glitter dots. And I think these are retiring also. Or maybe they're, I don't know if they're carrying over. I can't remember. But anyways, I really like these things. So we're going to add a little gold to this just to give it some additional color so he doesn't look. Let's put one right about there. I think that's good. All right, so we've got our butterfly and everything. All right, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our Whisper White cardstock and make sure we've got it cut enough to fit in the card. So I think this is the, yeah, that's going to be a little tight. Yeah, so let's cut this down just a tad. So I'm going to, it should be at 4 inches. So let's cut, it's at 4. I'm just going to cut just a smidge off. So I'm going to cut it like a 1/16 off to the side so it slides in easier. And then I'm going to cut this down to, we'll do 5 and let's do 5 and 1/8. I'd rather have a little bit too long. And then we can always trim it if we have to. All right, so let's see what that does. Do you all have, I swear I have problems getting over this lip right here. I mean, I like it, but God, I sound like all I'm doing is complaining tonight. I apologize. I don't mean to. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Well, actually, we need to trim that a little bit more. Yeah, because I want to make sure it gets in the envelope and that doesn't affect anything. So let's trim this down to 5 inches. All right, so we're just going to cut this back to 5, which is what I initially said, but I thought we might be able to get away with a little bit, something a little bit longer. All right. And we're going to put that on there. Now we're going to take a scrap piece of this paper, and we are going to, oops, everything's falling down. Now we can do, since we've got the stripes, or we could put the flowers, but we'll do stripes since we have stripes over there. All right, so I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch, and we're going to decorate the top here. So let me just cut a 1/2 inch of this, and then we'll cut it down to 4, and then I'll trim whatever excess off. Oops, there goes my whole chair next to me. I have my I had the paper cutter on it, and I've got papers that's retiring, and it's all just crashed to the floor. So anyways, all right, we're coming down to the wire here, guys. So I'm going to attach that right there, and I'll trim off the edges. So we just want to decorate this part too. But since we don't, I guess we could have put the flowers there, but we'll stick with the stripes. All right, so let's go ahead and add that. And then, well, first, before we do that, we're going to put this on there. And we're going to, I tell you what, the trimmer's getting his workout today. We're going to just kind of, we're going to score this circle. This is a 1/2 inch circle. And I'm just going to kind of score it, oops, just enough so I can bend it. I mean, you can fold it in half. You don't need to score it. It just makes it a little bit easier. Let me see if I can make any more stuff fall off my chair. All right, we're going to fold this in half. This is going to be our pull. Just kind of make it pretty. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on there. And then I am going to, or maybe we should do it this, yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Oh, I should have done the circle. Well, it's the same daggone thing. Okay. I'm going to put that like that, and then I'm going to put the paper over top of it. So just kind of give it a little, an extra little pull. So I am going to use the adhesive, our seal. So let me just put the seal on there so that will hold on to it. And we're going to pop that right there. I'm just going to bring it up just enough so we can grab it. Okay. And put that down there, and then I'm going to come in with this, and we're going to use that to cover up part of that circle. Well, it's not going to all cover it up, but it's okay. It'd be fine. If I made a bigger piece, we could do that. We could cut a bigger piece. Why don't we do that? Because that's not going to look right. All right, hang on a minute. Let me grab my paper trimmer again. Let's do, let's do 3/4 of an inch. Let me move this out of the way so we don't get glue. I apologize. All right, we're going to do 3/4 of an inch. Let's just do that. That'll work. And then I'll snip that off. That way that should cover, yeah, that'll look better. That will look much better. So let's do that. Let's just put some glue on here. And then I'll trim off whatever excess we have with the scissors. All right. So we will add that right there. And put that there. Get that all the way up to the top. All right. And let's trim that. Okay. And then this is where you can write your message for your recipient. And then we have our little pull, and we just place that right in there. And there you go. There's your card. Now, we're going to take this little butterfly. Now, I should have colored him. You could color him yellow so he blends, and we're going to put him right there. What do you think? And I'll come back and I'll color this yellow. And I'll just do it when I have it on here. So let's go ahead and put some, I think I'm going to do the seal. I'm just going to put a little, because we want him, yeah, let's put it towards the bottom. So let's put a little bit of seal here. Okay. All right, so let's put that there. And then I'll come back and color it with the blends, the Stampin' Blends. There we go. And then we'll just pull that up. And you can write your message. And there's our other card. So what do y'all think about that? All right, it is 8:05. I have one more card if y'all want me to do it. It shouldn't take very long. So if you want to leave me some comments, I'll wait to see what y'all say. If you want to see me create, it's another butterfly card, but it's a very simple one. We can knock that out as well. I'm just going to move stuff out of the way. So let me know in the comments if you want to see the next card. Let me see. I know it's going to take a minute for y'all to respond and for me to see the comments. So let's see. All right, you want to see one other card or not? This is the card we're going to make. It won't take very long. Do you want to see this one? Or are y'all ready to go? It's 8:05. I can probably knock this out because everything's cut. Probably 15 minutes. What do y'all think? Leave me a comment real quick. It's your call. Yes or no? Okay, we'll do the next card because I've got everything pre-cut. Okay, this is the card. Now, this is some of the paper too that I think this paper came in the bundle or with when the stamp set, the Butterfly Brilliance came out. I think this is still available, but the butterfly paper's not. This is done on a piece of basic black. It's 8.5 by 5.5. And then I put a piece of white underneath, Whisper White, and then this is that kind of a wood grain look. Let me get over here, sorry. And then I just stamped these, and then I colored them with the Stampin' Blends. I put a piece of vellum on this butterfly. And then we're using the gold rings. These are retiring, the gold hoops. So we'll make this card real quick, and then we're using some twine. All right, so let's get moving here. And let's see, there's my Get Well. And I made this a Get Well card. Okay, this one won't take long because, actually, let me get my pad in here because I got some glue on here. All right, let's go ahead and fold this. And let's see if we can get this done pretty quickly. I don't know why I chose such dark cardstocks. Good Lord. They are hard to see in here. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay. Try to make sure I've got it even. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging in here and watching. We'll get our third card done, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so the next piece, as always, is 5 1/4 by 4, and then this is 3 3/4 by 5, and it's really like 3 7/8 because I've got it almost where it has a little bit of the white showing through, not much. And this is a real fine paper. It's really thin, so we're just going to add some adhesive to that. All right. Whoops. Looks like a cyclone's come in here now. I had so much stuff on that second card that looks like the cyclone has come through, and I'll be cleaning this up tomorrow. So this is right on the edges, so you can barely see the white. And if you want more white showing, then you can obviously cut more white. But I really didn't want as much, but I thought we needed a little something. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this now. We're going to build our card. All right. Okay. And we are moving right along here. I do appreciate y'all taking your Tuesdays to spend with me. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a hoop. Now, you can take a nail file if you want and file the back side of this and kind of roughen it up. I just stick glue dots on it, and it holds fine for me. Y'all may have used these before, but I just stick the glue dot on there and then just kind of push it down on the bottom. So it's on the bottom part, not on the side. And I'll add like 4. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever, you know. So let me roll this one up a little bit. Sorry. Actually, it'd be easier if I, let me just take my fingers. It'd be easier to do it that way. All right, so let's get some glue dots on here so they'll stick. There's one. Let me get them off this one. I don't know why when you don't have that cardboard to help hold it in place, right? See, that way I can pull this thing right off. And we'll stick that one on there. Push that one down. And that's 3. I think that'll work. All right, so I'm just going to lay this. Let's put him right about there. Let's get these underneath, though. Hang on a second. Let me make sure we got them where they're going to hold. So we don't want our hoops to fly off, do we? All right, so let's hoop it right there. That'll work. Okay, move this mess out of the way. All right, so we've got our hoop there. And that's going to be hidden, so I'm not going to be too concerned because we got the butterflies. Now this one we're going to do magenta pink or magenta madness. And I've got a yellow that we're going to use for our big card. And then I think we'll do this, and then we'll do a little one. I think we'll do this little one here. Okay, so I am going to, first I'm going to add some of the twine, and I'm going to try to roll this so it shows, because it really didn't show much on my other card. So let's just, and I'm not good at this, so I'll tell you what I do. I'm just going to put a little, wrap it around. Some people can really do this really well. I'm not good at that. I'm just going to put it on there. I'm going to put it over here where it can be seen, so we don't have, and I'm going to get these little pieces. So I'm just going to put, let's just use some more glue dots. That'll probably work. Let's see. We'll put one right about there. And I'm going to roll it up so it's a little tiny ball so you really can't see it. I'm just going to put one of the pieces down to hold it in place. And I think the butterfly wing is going to hold that. And then this one, I'm going to loop this one up. I know. I'm making it look like it's harder than it is, don't I? We'll put that one there, and then we're going to bring this around. Okay. We're just going to attach, actually I can attach that right to there. Put you in there so you don't get seen. Let's put a little bit more up there. I'll put him down here. So let me just, I'll put a little bit of glue because this part's not going to be seen. All right, so let's do that. Let's take a piece here. Well, I said it wasn't going to take long. Now I lied. I lied to you all. Okay, we'll get that there. And then we'll put this here. And then this should all be hidden right here once we get the butterfly on. All right, so let that sit for just a second. Okay, that's good enough. All right, now we're going to take the big guy and we're going to bend him up just a little bit. And I papped him up on dimensionals. So I'm going to do the small dimensionals again because it fits within their body. So let's just place those right here. Actually, I'm going to, let's see if I can get my tweezers. I'll use those, these little guys out. We'll put those down here. All right. If I just lift them up. It's easier. So I hope you all enjoyed these cards. I love this butterfly set, and I'm so glad that it carried over. I'm sad that the paper was sold out. I mean, I have a pack of it. I haven't hardly even used it yet, but I may have to use it for giveaways since somebody will love to have that paper. All right, so let's place this guy. I'm just going to place him right about here. I'll place him right in the center of the hoop. And however you want to decorate, it's up to you. Now this one, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put dimensionals on all of these. The mini dimensionals, which are right in front of me. Now this one I did color with, I said, with the Magenta Madness. You know, when this color first came out, I wasn't too sure about it, but I tell you what, I really like this color. And the new in colors look, they look fabulous. So, y'all haven't seen those, but they do look really nice. Now this is the one that we're going to put vellum. So I'm going to have this guy, I think I'm just going to put him about like that. And then we've got this piece of vellum here that I cut out. This is vellum cardstock. So I'm going to put the dimensionals right on the back so that you don't see them. So I'm just going to use, I'm going to put probably 2. So I'll put one right here. There's one. And then where's my other dimensional? I mean, dot. Hang on a second. And then there's another one right here. And this one, I'm just going to roll it up just a tad. so he sticks to the butterfly. And we're going to push this up, and we're just going to cover that right over top. All I did was use the same die, the same size die, detail die, and cut the vellum out, and we're going to lay that on top of the magenta. Isn't that pretty? You can't really see it on camera, but you can see how it gives it that little bit of a subtle look to that hot pink. And then so the next thing I'm going to do before I add the next butterfly is let me stamp the sentiment, and I'm going to make this a get well card. I hardly ever make get well cards. I probably should. I should make more of them. So we're going to make this one a get well card too, which doesn't matter for me because y'all are going to get it, whoever gets this. So let's see if we can get it right here. All right, so we're going to stamp this in Memento Black. All right. My nose is now itching, and I put my classic label punch over. Hang on. We're going to go ahead and cut him out. I'm going to get the use out of my label punch, let me tell you. I love this label punch. I even have the old one because I like them so much I didn't want to get rid of them. But, you know, well, it's okay. All right, we're almost done. We're going to put some dimensionals on this, and we're going to do the little ones on this as well. I'll pop these up so the sentiment will pop up off the card. And I'm going to put 4 on here. Are y'all hanging in there? Craftnado. What's Craftnado? Craftnado is watching me? Welcome. Okay, we're almost done. Ladies, thank you for taking a little bit more time out of your schedule for me to get these done. I'm going to put this right here, the Get Well Soon. And then we've got this little guy that's colored in Calypso Coral. And I think I'm going to set that like right about there. Or maybe we should put him up here. What do you think? Or I have a green one, but he's kind of big. I could put him up there with a little pink on him. Let's see. I think we need to put him up here because this corner looks a little blank. Let's do that. Let's put him up there. All right. So make sure that you all have I know that you've made your comments and you've shared. And the names will get drawn next week, and you'll get these cards. So you'll get these 3 cards. And, oh, I forgot to announce the people whose names are drawn for last week. I forgot. I hope you're still there. Let's see. Last week was Mary Fogart. Oh, wait a minute. Fogarty? Is it Fogart? I can't read my own handwriting. Mary Fogarty. If she's on here, please message me with your mailing address. If not, if you know her, let her know. And then Karen Joe in Bradenton, Florida. Your name was drawn as well. Okay, congratulations. I promise I will get these cards in the mail no later. Well, I'll do it no later than Thursday. Most likely tomorrow. Let's put this little guy, let's put him right there. All right, so we've got our little butterflies. We got the vellum. And then the only other thing we need to do, oh, that's what I was going to do. We'll just use the green one. We're going to put this piece, and this has got ink on it, so we're going to flip it over. We're going to put this on the inside. Let me just get that all around the edges. And we'll just use that little green butterfly. We're going to put him down in the center. So let's just do that. So this is 5 by 4 1/4. So we're going to put that here. And let's take this butterfly and we'll just add him to the inside of the card. How's that? That way you got a little bit of a butterfly on the inside. And we'll just tack him down. Let's put him in the right corner. Only because I'm right-handed. All right, there you go. We are done. We have our cards made. So let's move this out of the way. Here's our cards that we made this evening. And here's the other card that we made. All right, so we are done. Whew. Let me get them in the camera so y'all can see them. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards. And if you need to get the directions, you'll have to watch the replay. I know. It's so sad that I know. Love the butterflies, and I have the paper so I can stamp anyway. Yep, stamp away. Anyways, thank you guys. It is 8:19. Excuse me. So we were only 20 minutes over. And here are the cards. So there you go. I think these are awesome folding cards, and I think whoever gets these will be pleased, and they really shouldn't weigh any more as far as postage. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I'm going to come back on camera. Thank you again for spending Tuesday evening with me. I greatly appreciate it. My husband does too, because he gets to watch his television shows while I'm in here. So anyways, thank you again. And I promise to Karen and Mary Fogarty and Tony. Oh, Karen Joe got last week, so you get two. So I'm going to send them all to you in one envelope. And I promise I will get them out in the mail tomorrow, and I will not go back on my word. All right, everyone, thank you again. I really appreciate you spending time with me. If you know someone that would like to watch my Facebook Lives or work with me as a demonstrator, please share my information. I'd greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much. Have a great week, a great weekend, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye now.